Hi everybody, I'm Jen with the Giggly Gypsy and Allegory Gallery in Ligonier, Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for tuning in again today. I have another fun project for us. If you are new to our channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell so you're notified every time we post something new. And if you like this video, hit the like button, share it, and then head on over to our Facebook group, Allegory Gallery Design Challenges, and post what you've created. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so today we're going to do another pair of earrings because I love earrings. And they're kind of simple. They look a little bit complicated, but I'm going to walk you through the process. I did use copper, but you are welcome to use sterling if you want, or any other color. Just my sizes right here are 18 gauge, 22 gauge, and I use 20 gauge for the ear wires. You are welcome to change the sizes of the wrapping wire here. This is the 18 gauge. But if if you do decide that it's a little bit tough on your hands, drop down to a 20. I'm just not sure if the numbers are still going to work. But we did use 14 inches of the 18 gauge. I have 6 inches of the 22. And I've got about 2.5 inches of the 20 gauge. Cut 2 pieces of each. So 2, 2, 2, 18, 22, 20. Some helpful tools: a Sharpie, a ruler, your different pliers. We've got the needle nose Xeron. We've got wire smoother, multi-tier bail maker, a couple of different sizes of flat nose, flush cutters, and some heavier duty needle nose pliers there. The beads, these are 9mm and 6mm. You could get away with an 8 on these two. It's just going to change a little bit of the size here. All right, so let's clear our workspace. First thing we're going to do is the ear wires, so they're ready to go when we're done with the body. So I'm just going to put them here on my multi-tier. I'm going to put them right at the end, make a loop, make sure those loops are closed. And I work them together so that they're about the same size. Then I'm going to turn those loops around, butt them right up against the last part, the last size here. It would be the largest one on the multi-tier. And I'm going to wrap my ear wires all the way around on the 5th size right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm going to take my flat nose, I'm going to come right here, right where that bottom loop is. Make a 90-degree bend. Well, maybe not quite 90, that's a bit sharp. Okay. Let's repeat on the other side. That's about 45-degree bend there. Straighten them out. And then snip. Okay, so we've got our ear wires. Use a nail file on the end of those, so they're not quite so sharp. And now let's do our connectors. I've already smoothed these wires out. I'm going to go to about the midway point, do a 90-degree bend, go up and around. Continue that circle, straighten it out. Okay. Do not close them yet. Open it up, put it on your ear wire. Hold that eye straight across. Let's do 1, 2, 3 coils down. And now 3 coils going back up so that we double those coils. Are a little bit thicker. And leave that off in the back. Turn it around, give it a snip, and then tuck your wire in. Repeat on the other side. Make sure that first coil is straight, because all the rest of them are going to follow that one. And if that one's wonky, they're all going to be wonky. So there's 3. I'm working back up. 1, 2, 3. That ear wire is going to want to get in the way, so just kind of keep that out of the way. Do your last coil at the top. End it in the back. And nip and tuck. Straighten anything out if you think you need to. Drop your beads. Again, these are 6 millimeter. And now I'm going to turn this so that I am looking through this loop, because I want this loop to be in the opposite direction. So giving about enough space that you can do the same coiling right there. It's about a 1/16 of an inch. I'm going to do a 90-degree bend. Repeating on this one. Looking through 90-degree. Okay, and now I'm going to make a loop on this other side, but I'm not going to close it all the way. Because we're going to need to attach it to that. Repeat. And just put them aside until you're done with the main body. Now I'm going to start these off together. You may find it helpful to use a Sharpie. I'm measuring down 3 inches, and I'm going to make a line right there so I know that's 3 inches. I'm going to take my flat nose, go straight across both of them, and do that 90-degree bend. I'm going to go on number 2, the second size. Let's see if I can get away with doing them both together. Okay. So complete that loop. You're going to have something that looks like that. Repeat on the other side. There we go. Turn this loop now. I'm going to hold straight across that eye, and I'm going to coil down 10 coils. So going down 1, 2. Keep it tight as you go. This is a thicker gauge wire. It's going to be real easy for that wire to go astray on you. So our third coil, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm switching to my flat nose so I can tuck that in better. Just kind of make sure that that's all straight. And now we're going to repeat on the other one. Holding that straight across with my thicker pliers. Coming around 1. And 10. As I mentioned before, this is a thicker gauge wire. So it's a little bit harder to work with. Okay, there we go. They are about the same size, because when we do earrings, we want to get as close to twins as possible. Sometimes you're gonna end up with sisters no matter what you do, because you are not a machine. So feed those beads on. Again, these are 9mm. And we're gonna work these one at a time. Kind of warm your wire up, because this you're gonna want to kind of do quickly. We're gonna do a herringbone. So with that bead right there at the end, as tight up against that bead as you can. Bend that loop back up towards the top. Come around the front. So you're right where that first coil is. You're going to turn that bead and bend that around back to the front. Now we're going to wrap this back down the other side of the bead. Come around the front here. And where that loop is, let's cover that up. And at this point, it's going to be very helpful to have your flat nose, because while you want to cover that, you also want to stay slightly to the outside of that other wire, because we're just covering that little bump there, but we want this to be kind of flat, as you can see. So now once again, we're going to go around from the front to the back, and just to kind of keep that spacing in there, I'm going to attempt to keep that. There we go. So I kept those wires separate, and now I'm coming back around from the back. I'm at the front, and we're going to do another pass on this right side. Going back up on that left side. Okay, so now we have 3 on this side. We need 3 on this side. Start that bend and come around to the front again. And go around that right side. I'm just kind of gently curving with my fingers, following the previous curve. And I'm staying on the outside of that top wire, that last pass we just did. Going around again. One more pass. When you get to the top, before you secure that, just make sure that everything's laying the way you want it. I don't like the way that this last bend got put in, so I'm going to do my best to kind of fix that. And we're gonna take the rest of that one to the back and secure it. There we go. And then just kind of straighten anything out if you need to here. Like I said, you are not a machine. This is kind of a very organic wrap. It's not meant to be perfect. There you go. I'm happy with that shape. Maybe let's adjust it just a little bit. There. I'm happy with that. And any of those little imperfections, that's part of the art. And you can always hide that with a little forced patina with that liver of sulfur. I tried to do it with some of my older liver of sulfur that I had in the car with me, but not quite. I mean, it's trying, but it just wasn't quite strong enough, because you want that liver of sulfur to be hot. You want this piece to be hot and free of any oils from your skin. So, all right, let's repeat on this one. Let's do that bend against that bead as tight as you can. Let's warm this up a little bit. Okay, so keep that bend tight. Come up to the top. Twist around that first coil. Come back around the right. This we're going to pass in front of that little bump. And then the rest of it, try to stay next to it. There we go. Just kind of try to hold that space with a flat nose. Go around the back again. There we go. Come back to the front. Make that next pass on the right. If you notice that your sizing, your spacing is just a little bit off. Try to fix that quickly. Okay. Passing over the top, around the back, back to the right. Following that curve. Staying on top of that last pass you just made. Go around again. Final pass. And they do not always come out the same, especially if you had to stop a couple of times. That wire is going to harden up very quickly if it's chilly out. Just do your best to fix it. This is a piece that just, if you want those twins, you gotta play with a little bit. And drop it for good luck. Alright, I think that's close enough. Let's seal the deal on the other side and then probably have some more adjusting to do. A little bit extra here. Tuck that in. Okay, now you're going to want to kind of do your best to play around with that. And get them closer to twins. So the problem with this one is the spacing on the right. I probably just came in at a different angle and made that spacing on the right just a little bit wider. I think we are gonna be pretty gosh darn close. I think that is close enough. Definitely like that. All right, let's add it to our connectors. So if you haven't already, open that loop. And before you close that loop, make sure that all the front sides are facing the right direction. Okay, now I'm going to hold this eye straight across again. Do the same amount of coils. So 1, 2, 3. And work it back up. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you leave off in the back. Then nip and tuck. Don't worry if it's not perfect. This is a very organic piece, and it comes with practice. The herringbone needs some practice. So do a couple of pairs with some inexpensive cheap wire first if you don't want to start off with your good materials. There we go. I'm happy with those. Let's repeat on the other side. Let's go through the big loop, Jen. There we go. You're on the wrong side, so let's take that off. Feed it through the right way. There we go. And now close that loop. Okay, there's 3. Come back around and go up through the top, or back to the top. 2 and 3, ending in the back. So nip that extra wire and tuck in your end. Straighten anything up if it needs it, but this one looks pretty good. They're very close to twins. Unless somebody's staring at it, no one's going to tell that they're slightly different. And have fun with it. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today. I hope you had fun. I know I did. If you like this video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell so you're notified every time we post a new video, and share what you've created in our Facebook group, Allegory Gallery Design Challenges. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.